Okay, well, another best of five. MvL with yellow and Vikings against dogao's Chinese. Nilly had just said, I think this goes 3-2 MbL and is decided in the fifth game. What are your thoughts?
I see dogao being a bit more of an underdog. I think MbL will be well prepared. He will design his strategies. He saw a lot of dogao games that were very heavily macro oriented. I think it will be a 3-1 for MbL.
All right. Well, would be a bit of revenge for MbL after crashing out of Hidden Cup to dogao. A very long Khmer War Game 5 and Chinese versus Vikings. I don't think I've seen the Civ matchup in King of the Desert that frequently. I've seen the Civs, but not the matchup all that much.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Vikings, we didn't see them as much. Sometimes banned, sometimes not even played.
Yeah.
Quick question before: who are we having red? Who we having blue?
I'm not doing team colors.
Okay,
So
colorblind people to
that
my channel.
yeah, I guess so. Like when it comes to yellow and blue, I understand that some people have issues with color blindness, but I don't think this is something that causes them issues.
Okay, so who do we
Could
have
be
as
wrong.
blue? Maybe let's make it easier then.
Well, dogao's blue, and then you can, if you want to set MbL as red, feel free. It's tough to see yellow on the minimap, but I figure that's the caster's job, so I'll do my best there.
Okay.
But yeah, not a Civ matchup we've seen all that frequently. One thing we have seen frequently, at least with MbL in the past, is a little bit of early walling. He's already walling up and wasting no time with that.
Oh yeah, he told some stories that he actually practiced against the AI, like the first 6-8 minutes, just to see like, okay, walling, how does it feel to be walled at minute 6? How is my economy? Can I still play pop 22 ups? And trained on
Why would
that.
he? Why? MvL gets trash talked so much for being a waller. Why would he ever tell people that? I would, if I were him, I would keep that to myself. That's funny though, and that's good to see that he's maybe thought it through and practiced a bit. It looks like he wants to go for a barracks here, nearly, or no, he's just gonna wall a bit more.
Well, this is MBL after all, right? And I really want to see how people are reacting to that because dogao, he knows exactly what's coming up.
Yeah. Dogao arrives, sees the walls there, and does also see the barracks. MbL will likely not lose that Vil. I know MbL's happy in these situations to hit the scout. That way, when he pulls his scout back, he'll have more HP. But so far, not a lot of action, but that action will come after the militia come out of the barracks there.
Oh, MBL opening with a very early barracks will most likely be 3 militia and then probably into some feudal age army. I don't think. Does he believe his gold will be good enough for a fast castle here and the right hand side easily wallable?
I'm confused by the palisade walls to the wood line. I guess he's going to make a house there now. MbL could do anything with this. MbL can make bases work for himself. I just don't know if this is going to be a fast feudal age follow-up or if it is going to be fast castle yet. I feel like if I'm in dogao's shoes, though, I see the walls this early, and even though I know I'm up against MbL, I'm immediately thinking, okay, he's going fast castle behind the drush.
And what are you doing against that? Are you going castle yourself? The answer is clearly no, but looking at your
Yeah.
gold spots here for dogao, that has to be scouts if he's not moving out already.
Yeah, perhaps something we should have brought up earlier, Nilly, but that's a disaster of a gold. Like, all the golds are pretty rough for him, whereas MbL's gold is perfectly walled in already, and here come the militia. So good decision for MbL to go fast castle if that is indeed the plan. He will get those walls down, made it look easy. And for dogao, I would say he's on the back foot already, going feudal without a real solid game plan to damage MbL's base.
Well, he will easily defend with the scouts. He is walled there, and I did compliment him in the series against the Max, even the one he lost 3-0, that he did a good job of doing the preemptive walls, won't really lose too much there, and the question is still, like, how are you ever transitioning out of that? Like, 4 scouts, yeah, congratulations to get map control, but good luck facing the first crossbows.
I think you go eco upgrades and farms, and you just let the militia there. Like, isn't that what Tato? I mean, he tried it with Chinese
Against Celts, against
against
Veleste
Celts.
yesterday,
Different situation, I guess. Let's see what he's able to afford. He's making the barracks, so probably will be a stable. But he'll need to get the food to catch up and eventually get to the castle age. No laming from MbL in this game. It does have Mongols, Aztecs, Mayans, and Goths. And one more Civ, I forget, in his draft.
Oh, we can take a look at that one later as well. I liked MbL's draft quite a bit, I have to say. To go with some weird choices, maybe we can discuss that afterwards. And, well, Militia not finding an opening at the right-hand side wood line. Left-hand side wood line looks a bit scrappy.
Yeah, dogao, I watched him play quite a bit, actually. And he very rarely makes mistakes, but we jinxed him. He had the time for this, too, Nilly. He was just almost inexcusable.
Oh, yeah, he saw it coming so far away. And MbL, he will always get that villager. He's so good at getting those.
Wow. So he gets the Vil pick, and that also means that dogao is chopping straggler trees instead of a lumber camp, which is very inefficient. Still going to make it work, but being down a Vil, I guess it's not the worst if you're Chinese, because you start with a few more, but that's something you want here.
dogao not get horse color? Look at that, he delayed it so much. And now is dropping 10 farms here. 9 farms.
Without it.
And he had the rest.
Yeah, I think I wasn't paying too close attention to it. When I did glance at his resources, I felt like he was on the brink of having to idle his TC if he got horse color. But here come the scouts now. And good move from dogao to probably pull the Vils here, but dogao's housed. This is some first game jitters, I think. We're just not being warmed up yet. Like being housed and losing a villager, not getting horse color. There's 3 big things that dogao has done or not done in the last few minutes.
He is missing 2 sheep. Did only push 1 deer, but still, like, horse color has to be affordable there if you're Chinese. And look at that, still idle villagers. Oh god, dogao. First game of the day syndrome.
Yeah. And it was something I was expecting, having casted MbL so many times over the years, to bring up about MbL. Like, he is notorious for starting a bit slow. So to start like this, and if he can follow it up with a victory, it'd be so good for him.
Okay, now the blacksmith in the back. Arch. Oh, stay. Did I just start my sentence with the archery range and then saw the stable? MbL.
Is he hiding that, making dogao? Maybe dogao starts to make skirmishers blindly and tower up, and then he just sends the knights in, and wow.
Not unlikely. Okay.
This is nifty, because dogao's probably, he might be tempted to leave some areas open, like next to the town center, because archers would never go through there, but a knight or 2 could. I feel bad for dogao because of how bad his base is. Like, this is unbelievable, but still didn't do himself any favors in the early game.
Fast cast is so smooth here. Clicked up with 10 food, 2 gold in the bank, perfect amount of wood, and MbL, he looks sharp as ever.
Spear coming out. You know, there were a lot of questions about MbL over the last 6 months in DE. It took him a while to get going back in November when the game came out, and then there were various tournaments. I wasn't able to participate in a few, and then Hidden Cup lost to dogao, and I think so far from what I've seen, King of the Desert, this is MbL of old, very strong.
Well, there are a lot of stories to tell, right? Initially, DE came out, he had a drop rate of 20% or something, so couldn't really play the top players because his rating was high. That was super ugly for him. Missed the first major tournament there with NAC because he wanted to change his life, wanted to go to become a driving instructor. And then, fortunately for his AoE career, we could say, COVID happened. And then he could focus so much on Age of Empires. Now it's a tournament that only has his favorite map. With Shift Draft, there's no surprises. This is like the dream scenario for him. And then he beats Mr. Yo and now has such a good bracket. He is a very strong contender to make it into the finals. Yeah,
a lot of things went wrong for MbL and then right, I guess. But you know what? Forward Siege Workshop, I don't love that against 2 stables. And dogao, like, doesn't see the siege yet. Might be thinking, wait a second, is that a scout? Is that a full HP scout? What on earth is that?
Didn't I kill
dogao
one?
Might actually be in a good position, considering the fact that Vikings, they normally don't go knights.
Yeah, they normally don't. And now he sees the defense upgrade on the scout. If he is actually clicking it, not too sure about that. 2 scouts around. Still didn't find the siege workshop, but now he should.
Right. He sees the spears. Everything about this just screams forward Siege Workshop.
Yeah,
The fact you're playing MbL and the the forward spearman.
yeah. Maybe the Palisade scouted. Trade off 1-for-1 scouts
A
here.
ram.
The ram could actually kill the scout. That could have been so funny.
It still might happen. Oh, get it. That's not important. He has to take down those palisade walls, and dogao has to try and house wall behind. But man, did those palisades go down quick.
Yeah, 2 hitting there. We saw it yesterday. That's pretty damn quick. And, well, just shoots through them quite nicely. Tower will fall instantly.
Okay, so dogao can't make a second TC because he built the tower. But I would say it's a reasonable spot for him to defend from this if he makes his own knights, because the knights should be better. He's even making camels now, which he has as an option. Very unorthodox style of play to go for 2 spearmen, 1 knight, and a Maganel with Vikings of all civs.
Up to 4 knights now on the field. Make it 5 knights, so he's really
And 2 bills
going
down
ham there. Still no extra TC, not really where Vikings is shining, so he is playing the mind games here. Surely 3 spearmen should do pretty well against camels.
Yeah, 3 spearmen with the knights there. MbL now making the monastery. Suddenly, dogao might have the camels, but he hasn't been able to take a fight yet. Can he do it now, Nili? Here he goes.
Oh, tries to protect the Mangonel. The repair comes in. Camel's getting the snipe, though.
Camels get the Maganel. There's still 4 spearmen in here. And I think it's going to be an awkward fight for dogao in the end. Let's see. How much is he going to be able to kill? How much is he going to lose? Remember, he's off of gold. He has no gold available because of his map. And he just calls it.
But with a higher score?
I think if he had a safe gold, if his golds weren't so bad, this could still be competitive. But he can't take any golds. And MbL would still maintain some control there. And dogao, maybe a sign of a bit of frustration with the map, or just, I don't know. I felt like he called it a little bit too early in some of the games against the Max. In both sets he played, and that one is arguably early. I can understand it, I guess.
Well, just think about, like, what are the next clicks of dogao going to be? Like, what would you advise him? What do you focus on next?
Yeah. I mean, what you do is you send villagers to gold.
Where?
Yeah, exactly. He's screwed. Like, MbL, I don't think does this if he doesn't see the gold positions. I think he knew the gold was there, and he said, if I deny the gold, I win the game.
Yeah, I think it was a nice execution. And dogao, I think the G timing is absolutely justified. Not sure if he needed to jump on there right at that moment, but didn't feel very wrong either. And MbL takes a very easy game 1.
Mm-hmm. Now, with that said, that's such an MbL game.
Yeah,
like from the start, full wall, and somehow turn a civ which is not good with, not traditionally good with knight, pike, siege, into a victory. So well played. I think dogao will he'll be a bit frustrated with that map gen, and I think he'll be able to do better if he's in a different spot going into the next game. Not much to talk about there, Nili. Quick game.
But that's why we see the strategies so often, right? Because map generation is so open and it's so tricky to defend your gold spots. And that's why you need to play differently. Like this fast castle, like only 2 scouts, no archery range, then kind of hoping. Then camels aren't great against the spearmen, against the monks. It's basically only against the knights. Ay.
Okay, let's just say for the sake of conversation that dogao is a bit frustrated. Let's just say for the sake of conversation.
Okay.
Do you think he's going to be excited to play against some of the civilizations that MbL has available on his draft?
Well, okay, MbL is frustrated because MbL walled so much, right? And if you
dogao, yeah,
or dogao is frustrated because MbL walled so much. If you see Mongols and you remember the Mongols he had last time, where he walled the complete map in 7 minutes, then it's not a great look ahead for more games to come.
Well, I'm thinking he couldn't find those 2 goats in that game, and he was unfortunate to lose a villager in Dark Age. So if you don't want to fall behind in Dark Age, MbL is probably the best lamer ever. He has Mongols at his disposal. He has Aztecs at his disposal. He has Mayans at his disposal. So all 3 of those civs are in the 4 civs that have laming bonuses. And you could even argue that a civ like Goths, which I think would be a bad pick for MbL right now, is also a laming civ nowadays with the forward-ville strategy.
Also remember, though, that's the idea that we have. And in the post-interview from the series that he won against Mr. Yo, he said, I won every game where I played Standard and Vault. I lost the games where I lamed.
And he's been saying that for a while, too. He's been saying that while he lames a lot in rated games, he feels like he plays worse if he lames in tournaments. I suppose that would apply to maybe stealing a Rhino or stealing, or like losing HP on that scout. All right, well, MbL, for me anyways, in the yellow, we have that next game. He's Aztecs, and then dogao is Malians. Gold positions definitely more favorable for dogao. The maps in general going to be open and exposed as it should be for King of the Desert, but much better for him this time around.
Absolutely. We see the adjustment again. Very early Rhino there after 1 sheep. Actually misclicked a bit, therefore I had to go for a 2nd sheep. Finds everything, so dogao won't be lamed here.
Yeah, that's a good move. And this is an adjustment we've seen a lot over the last 48 hours. Players choosing to bring in their Rhinos before you would normally do so with a standard build. And MbL sees 2 wood lines and he thinks, I can wall that. Which is funny because dogao's scout arrived at that time. So MbL. You could technically, if he walls between the wood lines and to the edge of the map, he would have his berries, his wood, his gold all protected. He could go for a similar thing. Drush FC or just full walls.
Well, the base will be way bigger this time, right?
Okay, that's better. Yeah, you're right. He has more to wall this time, and he's already starting to do it now. And he even has Loom queued up after this next Vil. He just wants to be safe with no big losses. Don't wall. What is it Vil doing?
I think he right-clicked on that palisade to start. And yeah, now he's going for it.
I misclicked it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Well, I'm wondering if dogao, maybe expecting some type of passive play from MbL, will go more aggressive than the previous game. It's tough to go for Men-at-Arms with Chinese, so that was never really an option in Game 1. Could easily be an option in Game 2.
Yeah, Men-at-Arms feel relatively natural for either civilization here. And MbL 4 on wood, absolutely an option. dogao 4 on wood as well. So that will be no fast castle here, at least that's what I'm assuming. And indeed, MbL dropping the barracks now with his very small map, even before the mill.
Yep, he just now scouted where dogao is, and he's going for the Vil pick. Can he get this with the Eagle and Dark Age? dogao's trying his best. And dogao will lose the Vil. Wow.
But that also was a villager he could have saved, right? The distance was long enough that at some points there, dogao, I think there were like 2-3 misclicks included.
Yeah, maybe. Guys, this is what you have to remember with these Eagle Scouts. It's 4 attack instead of 3, and 50 HP instead of the 45 HP of a Scout Cav. So Eagles can steal resources. They also have that more potent attack. But you know what's bad is MbL now cannot be anywhere near dogao's base to see what dogao's up to. If he's there, dogao will kill the Eagle, and he does not want to lose that.
Yeah, but well, he will send the militia out, right? So he will get the intel with that army after that. And well, now he will just be happy. Use the Eagle to push some deer. Meanwhile.
Is MbL a player where you
Yes.
have to just accept... yes, he is a player. Okay. Follow-up question to that. Is MbL the type of player where you have to just accept that the game is going to go his way? And by that, I mean walls and fast castle? Or walls and delayed feudal?
I know that the answer is no, but I can't give you the answer on how to really dictate it. I know that Hera said how MbL played is so vulnerable to so many strategies and can easily be punished. He didn't talk to me about how, and I didn't want to ask. Like, I think that's kind of revealing, so I didn't even ask. But at least there are top players that believe that MbL style could easily be countered.
Okay. I think it ultimately depends on matchups too. Like, Hera has a few players in the top 10's number right now. Where if he matches up against them, we'll use Tato as an example, you're pretty much expecting, okay, Hera's going to get that best of 5 or best of 7 win.
Yeah.
It might not be the case with others. But yeah, I'm with you. It feels as though dogao here is going to go for man-at-arms. But MbL taking the initiative is forcing a reaction from dogao. It's really tough.
Militia now knocking at the door here.
I hate these walls for MbL though. Oh my god. These are
This is such an MbL thing. Oh god.
This is so it just doesn't seem like this should be good. If I was casting low elo legends, I'd be like, no, you wall using the wood lines. You do this, you do that. Just MbL things.
Oh. Yeah, it feels so weird, and that's what I said several times, right? MbL knows something that I don't know. Because if you wall like this, I would advise against it.
Yeah, well, I would advise that you pressure MbL sooner rather than later. What MbL would have wanted is for these 3 militia to be upgraded to man-at-arms and then chase his own militia. That's not happening. So dogao is applying pressure, and MbL still in the Dark Age. This is the 2nd straight game. He's gone for a Drush Fast Castle attempt. Will he be able to pull it off this time? I'm not so sure he's going to have the resources required to do it, Neely.
It won't be a Drush Fast Castle. Drush Fast Castle, you sent 4 on gold, I think. And
oh, he's on 3. Yep.
And also you need more farms, right? He only has 3 farms at the moment, 15 villagers on woods, so that one will be even militia added, and I think he will add archery ranges. While the
dogao!
Ooh.
Oof. I think, yeah, I remember, shoot, what was it? There was a show match, and this is a pretty weird reference, but it was MbL versus Slam, and it was an Aztec war. And Slam went for man-at-arms, and MbL went for this very delayed feudal age into additional militia, and I think it can catch players off guard because MbL's style is so Drush Fast Castle heavy. But now at least dogao will know, and dogao also has archers at home already.
MbL dropping the archery range, and well, archers are coming over, so that fight should go in dogao's favor. And you said, yeah, you'd play against MbL very aggressively, but honestly, isn't he the best in defending forwards as well?
Yeah, it's just interesting to talk about. He's a very unique player. He's definitely one of the better defensive players out there. And great move from dogao here, using the scout. He sniped the eagle, keeps his scout alive, takes what I'd say is a favorable fight. He's fighting 2 versus 4 here. And MbL, the militia don't matter anymore. They will distract, but they won't contribute much.
Yeah, he is happy
range.
with that fight, surely.
Yeah.
Could we say that MbL is the best player in AM?
Are you trying to get me? I don't know if AM's a thing anymore. Like, listen, I've spoken to different former AM players, and I've gotten different responses. So, yes, I guess you could say that.
Okay. So we agree. Eagles mixed in and some skirmishes, so he goes to a different approach. Obviously, Eagle Skirm will do pretty well against archers. dogao still without fletching.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe dogao is not expecting MbL to have this much. He did a decent job to push forward, but he was invited to MbL's base, and MbL's like, oh, thanks. I like it when you give me free kills.
Oh, man. And
that was rough.
That's the problem with MbL's base, is that if archers surround you, you will have 0 wood income. But if MbL is clearing up the first archer so easily, that doesn't invite dogao to be back soon.
But positives for dogao is that he's almost completely walled, though I think he should be taking a page out of MbL's book and make sure he's completely walled now. Actually, I was going to say all these things, but if he's not walled, this is going to be annoying. Why? You've had the time.
The farmers there at the front still exposed.
What?
The gold exposed as well. That is a weird game by dogao.
Very weird. Like, I was going to say 1 range is not a huge investment. If he's walled, he'll have the eco to go up and make knights, but now you're going to have multiple farms harassed. You're giving MbL time to do whatever he wants to do behind this. Is very, very weird. It's almost like dogao's treating MbL as a player who's like 1900. You know, is like, I don't need to wall, I'll be fine.
I'm really curious. And MbL, well, he will be up to Castle Age earlier. Yeah, 2 minutes ago, it felt so much better. MbL's KD 8-2. And just remember that he took the trade there with all his militia.
Yeah. Was he healing the militia? Did he?
Yeah,
I forget about them. He
put
healed them in the town center.
Yeah.
It's actually
Good
incredible.
nerd move there. Might find the kill
here
against
comes
the
the
scout. Yeah, 4 HP only. MbL up
And
to
there he
Castle Age.
goes.
20-42. Solid.
Do you think he goes Eagles here, Nilly, or do you think he invests into ranged units?
Well, he already did add the second archer range, so that is our answer there. And yeah, just going pretty wild and already having a villager forward again.
Oh boy. What did we say earlier? That we didn't think a single series today was going to be a 3-0?
Well,
MbL has
Tristan,
looked-
after 2-0 for Doubt, we were thinking it is a 3-0 as well.
Yep. You read my mind. That was the next thing I was going to say. If this does become 2-0, don't forget the first series of the day.
But this one looks really tough. And the first two games were way longer, right? The first game, Ruffle stomped. Second game, dogao needs to pull something out of his head to not be overrun here pretty soon. While he adds the armor for his infantry with only one
I
barracks.
think he's expecting eagles. He saw 2 eagles. He saw 2 skirms with no fletching.
Oh yeah, he is.
So I think he's completely mind games here.
Tristan,
he believes
your time to scream at your chat.
supplies. He wants to go long swords to counter eagles. It will be crossbow instead for
How
MbL.
much you're enjoying it is unbelievable.
Yeah, it was fun. Supply, let's give him credit. Supplies is a good upgrade here. And also, let's not forget that Malians do get extra pierce armor per age. But that said, crossbows still should be able to out-micro any longswords. And MbL is broken through.
Oh, what upgrade did he just cancel?
Did he cancel supplies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to give
So
you a
that
chance
means-
to scream it a second time.
Yeah, canceled supplies. So yeah, dogao's reacting to MbL as it has been the whole entire series, and I guess is how bad is it when you invest into double barracks only to see the crossbows here? My goodness.
Maybe it didn't cancel, but I think he should have. He's seeing so many crossbows, and it will just be ugly. First Siege Workshop is out, and well, it feels like a bit of a blind counter, but remember back in the Mayans Britons game earlier, we said it's so obvious that he's going for eagles.
Yeah.
And in this
I know.
case, dogao is going for the counter, but it's not eagles.
If this was a rated game and MbL was mic'd up, I'm sure he would be like, oh, I tricked him. Or no, MbL would have a different way of saying it, but after seeing the second barracks now and seeing they're all garrisoned, he's probably thinking, oh boy, okay, he thought I was going eagles.
I tricked him is like the slam way to say it.
Yeah.
The MbL way to say it is like, that potato, I've done so many crossbow and he goes, men at arms.
He'd just be like, he would actually be quiet in this scenario. He'd just be like, he's dead. 2 scorpions.
That's actually better, yeah.
Yeah, he would be really silent. There's a few instances in the past where he made a good play and he was really vocal, but
Okay.
we'll skip past that as dogao's on 1 TC Nilly. Still has not completed the longsword upgrade, and we'll try and go longsword Maganel. And MbL is he on a second TC? Yeah, forward TC, but he'll be on 2. And he has dogao under huge pressure.
Pretty lovely spot there. Longsword tech is now coming in, and now I'm curious, did he finish supplies or not? He did finish it. Okay, so I lied.
So supplies was in. I mean, it makes sense if he's continuing to make these units. Oh, big volley there, but unfortunate that MbL will be able to just heal all the crossbows with the monks.
Yeah, and then it was not that big of a volley anymore. If he deleted, he could have gotten like 6-7 crossbows there quite easily.
Yeah. Can we talk about how valuable units have been in MbL's army? He still has militia that he healed up in the town center. He healed up an eagle earlier in the town center. Now he's healing up the crossbows.
Eagle to the left-hand side might go down. MbL misses, and he just goes back. Just finding damage here without losing much.
And I think he's accepting that dogao is expecting all-in 1 TC play. And so he's just going to hold and go to 3 TCs at home. And you see the 3rd TC now. So he's going to try and gain an eco lead. It's now on dogao to kill this force and push back. I think by the time he takes a good engagement here, Nilly, he might be 10, 15, maybe even 20 vills behind.
Yeah, MbL is so good at keeping you guessing, right? You see so much. You see like 5 different units knocking at your front door. More humans are streaming in. But behind this, you don't know. Is it a 1 TC play? Does he add 2 barracks? Is it 2 extra TCs? It is so tricky for dogao to find out.
Yeah, I personally... like, I probably played against him more than any other player because he probably queues later than any other high-level player. I'm kidding.
But you already played like 60 games against Dave, no?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Dave and I played a lot of games, but Dave's like a completely different beast. Not even comparable to MbL. But no, I can't figure out his style, despite the fact, there's like a 400 elo difference, which we won't bring up. Big fight, Nilly.
Big fight. Let's quickly distract from the rating difference. And MbL dance here. Nice ground check by dogao, but it was still uphill. MbL, he's so good at those fights, but will lose one.
Yeah, and I think he will fail to... Oh, are you kidding me? Okay, he ends up evening it out.
Another MbL in production just will go back onto that hill. And it's so impossible to reclaim that hill area now.
Yeah, it's so weird to me how dogao hasn't sent 2 or 3 villagers to stone ahead of time, how he doesn't have a market to buy stone to add a TC. You can't stay full on 1 TC this entire time, and 1 for 1 there.
Well, it is a bit easier if you're the one going for aggression, right? And forcing your opponent to have either villagers, maybe seeing, okay, where is he expanding, forcing him to army. But being the defender and going 1 TC, you have to really know that your opponent is going 1 TC himself, which MbL isn't.
There's the market, so he'll buy stone and add a 2nd TC in a second. But I just can't help but feel like all this could have been a bit faster. I think dogao just can't keep up with the pace of the game right now. Even getting housed for a moment. Siege micro from MbL and from dogao, very impressive.
Some shot against the monks, but MbL so good, won't lose a single monk.
That's such a good fight for MbL. Now the longswords do have full upgrades. Full upgrades, Nilly. And defense, rather.
In defense, indeed. In your defense, we're only talking about defense. And now he's going in deep. Another mango shot, an option here. MbL is microing back solidly.
This does give dogao an opportunity. It's even a military. He's now taking MbL off the hill. He will recognize that, MbL's got TCs. But longswords, it took some time. They're finally doing something. My worry is MbL can still make some siege. And he can always tech switch into something else. For now, he's sticking with the crossbows, and he splits and takes out the Mangonel.
Oh, lovely, lovely moves here. And now it's so much easier to micro for MbL as well, right? Let's take a look. Mangonels at the front will pop out. Can he micro those? Could be really hectic.
There's a lot going on right here. I have a feeling he will just lose these.
Monk around. Can he get another shot off? No. Okay. That was really good for dogao.
Gets a conversion, probably. No. dogao takes score lead, despite the fact that MbL is 30 vills ahead. I think MbL needs to go for supplies and go for his own longswords here.
Oh, look at what's coming.
There it is. And a big shot for dogao. MbL's got to hold on for a bit so he can use his eco. And Nilly, I say use his eco. Look at how many idols he has.
Oh, he's queuing up militia before he gets supplies.
That's really bad.
He had the barracks in the back. The moment you want to go for them, just click it and only then queue them up. Especially with Aztecs, you're so quick to catch up.
dogao's coming back. He's coming back and then some. And if he's able to control this hill, MbL could lose all the villagers on the front of his base. MbL only has 17 on food versus 24 on food from dogao. So in terms of longsword numbers, as there's a 1-for-1 engagement there, dogao could continue to gain that lead.
He is 30 villagers behind though. Now 27. Military is relatively even. And the thing is also, if we go longsword with longsword, it is only okay for Malians and Castle Age. Once we reach Imp, Aztec just shrek them.
Sure. Yeah, I think dogao will have that in the back of his mind as he goes to dive in here. Oh, the Mangonels could matter so much.
TC not garrisoned.
And crossbows dodging. This is the time for dogao if he's going to take a fight.
Oh, he's doing so well. The longsword upgrade was a bit late. Good job by MbL microing those crossbow back. Mangonel's really exposed now, though.
MbL has 30 idle villagers. He has 1,000 wood in the bank. He is really struggling to put his villager numbers where they need to be. And specifically the farms right now is the big problem. But at least he'll snipe the Mangonels.
He's getting
Snipe another one.
Oh yeah, that's so good. And he might save the Mangonel. Probably won't. TC is trying to hold on. No repair on those, though.
Okay, look at the Vil difference now, Nilly.
13.
What? From 30 to 13 in the blink of a freaking eye. That's crazy.
Oh, roughly like 10 went down there. dogao had his production rolling. And as you said, MbL's macro did slip in this fight.
Mm-hmm. But now MbL's got ranged melee. He still has all those upgrades on the crossbows and good numbers. Where supply is paying off now. I think he's going to take a moment, start to farm up. He's actually sending 2 groups of villagers to that stone. Oh, I would love to see Jags in this game. That would be amazing.
Jaguars won't actually do too much against what dogao has prepared now. He will go for the tech switch, will go for triple stable knights now.
He does have the eco for that. And as long as he's able to keep MbL away from scouting that, MbL might be light on the monk numbers, which is what you'd want. But I think you do not show the knights until you have +2. And Nilly, he's switching into +2. This is really interesting now.
Needs to wait for at least, I would say, 8 or something. And I think that tech switch makes hell of a lot of sense. Because crossbow longsword of Aztecs just scales so much better against Malians that are missing 2 crucial attack upgrades there in the end.
MbL with villagers going out here. So he's looking to take more stone. And wanted to build an outpost there because he was waiting for dogao and didn't know where dogao would be arriving. Oh, that Mangonel, though, with the hits on the Scorpions. That's beautiful. And we'll get another hit. Takes out another one.
Scorpions running, longswords attacking there, but lots of them losing their lives. And MbL has to be curious, like, what is dogao doing now? Why is he wasting all of his longswords?
Do you think it's the right move to waste the longswords?
No.
Yeah, I think dogao should have really kept them together because now he's going to be fighting with 11 military against 45.
Well, those 11 will obviously be relatively strong number, like in their army value, but knight numbers at 7, 5 more in the queue.
Yeah, now MbL sees the stables, and so he has some time to prepare the switch, and the switch is going to be pikemen. This is on top of the fact he does have a few monks out there. I think dogao, for the first time in a long time, could actually use mobility, Nilly. Maybe avoid this. It sounds crazy, but avoid this and send a few knights to MbL's economy and keep MbL at home.
Yeah.
Do not allow this to snowball on you.
Yeah, MbL has no siege, so that would actually be a good option. And soon we will see the problem with the longsword throw. I think dogao will get onto a nice number of knights and will face a lot of pikemen where the remaining longsword could have been so nice for him.
I know, he had like 15 of them. Maybe he was trying that tech switch and things got too hectic, and I think MbL's about to overwhelm. The eco difference is not that much anymore, but the military is insane.
Oh boy.
48 military versus 6. dogao is completely outpopped.
Plus 40.
Crazy.
That's something we don't see too often. MbL, enough stone for a castle. Where do you want to see it?
I think he should place it forward. Like, he doesn't have to. A safe castle at home would be fine. I think MbL should send a statement with this next castle. Drop it right in front of dogao's base. And here he comes, Nilly. He's gonna do just that.
Oh god, and he goes wild indeed. Pulls enough villagers there. That castle will go up. Will block lots of farms. The wood line will control the gold indirectly there as well. The production for dogao. Oh god, that should be the nail in the coffin.
Yep, there it is. There's no way to stop that. I mean, you could say that even if dogao didn't toss those longswords away, he would be struggling here. That's fair. But the only way to be certain that he was going to struggle was to throw away the longswords. That was something we'll look back on Nilly and what was close to a very good comeback. I look at this now. Oh, he's got a few counters, but just 2 or 3 knights. It's all dying. GG. Thank you, dogao, for resigning there, because I was not sure what to say. What a game. Wow, that was crazy.
It was such a nice aggression by MbL. The problem there with this army that he has, it is relatively immobile, right? Monk, mangonel, crossbow, longsword. But Dogao's army composition was pretty similar, but without more intel. So, like, he didn't raid at home, which could have been an option. He didn't try to make it messy for MbL. It is just MbL could play the ideal game for himself. Dogao, clearly high level, but lacked maybe creativity.
Yeah, forget about the longsword throw for a second. I just want to come back to how many mind games happened in Dark Age and Feudal. Like initially, Dogao's thinking, all right, this guy's probably going fast castle, so I'm not going to make too much military, and I'm going to invest into one range and a lot of eco and send the archers forward. So he sends the archers forward, and they die. Okay, that was a mistake from Dogao, but again, maybe wasn't expecting the 2 eagles and the skirms from MbL. So then he falls back, and at home, he only deals with skirmishers with no upgrades and 2 eagles. So he goes, oh, okay, he didn't get fletching. He's definitely going to be going for eagles. So he preps longswords, and then MbL arrives with crossbows, monks, and siege. It was just, at that point, Dogao's playing catch-up, and the longswords almost did it for him, but props to MbL for keeping Dogao guessing that entire game.
And both players very focused, like one-dimensional push, right? We didn't need to scroll a lot here. Neither player ever touched the bottom of the map. Not a single relic touch. Extra gold spots, completely uninteresting for this game. This was extremely one-dimensional, and that's where Aztecs really shine as well.
Sure. All right. So MbL with more food, wood, and stone collected. That's great stuff. And he almost, like, I look at the timeline, he almost threw that one a little bit, but he gets the win in the end, and he's up 2 games, and these have been pretty quick games, too.
Well, he threw just meant his army dropped, right? His economy was still in the massive lead. He needed to go for the tech switch, and then had 5 Aztecs barracks, allowing him the defense.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So any thoughts here? Do you think MbL is thinking, oh, I've won this, so we're now going to go for something wacky here, or do you think he'll try and close this out with his best strategy?
I think he isn't the guy that... well, he can get cocky. I think this set is too important for him. I think he will go for his best strategy.
Okay. We will find out soon. Score 2-0. What, you said 3-1 MbL? I said 3-2. And man, MbL, it doesn't even seem like he's going to lose a game. Now, it sucks that the doubt Velez set was first, because anytime someone goes up 2 games and has been extremely dominant, I'm going to second guess myself all day, but still. I think you hit the nail on the head, Nilly. I think Dogao lacks a little bit of creativity at times.
It is tough to say, right? What can he go for? Like, I think ideally from the game design, Cav Archers should be a unit that work well there. But Cav Archers are obviously bad for Malians. They are bad in the game at the moment. He never had the time to really go for them. But Scouts didn't feel right. It's just like maybe Mangonel himself?
Maybe.
But
well,
Redemption Monks. Oh god, what a matchup.
What a matchup indeed. Yeah, this is... I think Dogao expecting MbL to go Mongols here, as many people in the Twitch chat were. And surprise, it's Mayans. I think this is a Civ matchup where Indians struggle. Dogao in the blue, MbL in the yellow, at least on my side. I think Nilly's got MbL in red. Tell us why this could be rough for Indians, Nilly.
So Indians is a civilization designed to kill cavalry. The amount of cavalry MbL is going to build is very, very likely 0.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's such a one-sided civilization. It's had a great win rate even in rated games, but that's because they face off against like Franks or Huns or Magyars. Any civ that tends to go knights, Indians thrive. If you face off against Aztecs, Mayans, or Incas, it's a real mismatch for Indians, or at least it can be. And I believe that dogao was picking Indians here, expecting MbL to pick Mongols or I forget the rest of his draft, but I think he had even another civilization which would oftentimes go for stable units. Franks. Yeah. Yep. So it's honestly a good pick for dogao. This is kind of the downside of drafting is that you have to guess and there's some mind games before the match even starts. Yeah. What about this wide open space between the players? Like there's this large flat piece of land between both bases in the middle.
Very untypical for this map, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If we go into that view, there is a higher hill below that, but that is a very one-dimensional area.
Does that mean all the hills that should have been in the middle go elsewhere? Like, is that why there's a large hill in the south?
I don't think there's like a minimum or maximum. I think it's just like elevation, and then there's a percentage for that.
Oh boy. All right, so game 3, MbL is MbL. He is fantastic with his Eagles. We saw in game 2. He's got another one here, and dogao just wants to push in an ostrich, and MbL is not going to allow that to happen.
All of a sudden, it feels like a 2D game.
Yeah. This is true. Also, dogao might assume that he has been lamed. Okay, never mind. He sees the goats, but has to be careful bringing them back with MbL's eagle lurking. MbL, he knows the elephant's there to the left, and he is going to wait for dogao to try and take that so he can block the bill.
Yeah, wants to be annoying, doesn't want to allow the pushing there, and you can see dogao still fighting for it a bit. For now, no real hits done. MbL, oh god, this guy's annoying.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating. It's got to get in your head a little bit, especially when you're down 2 games and they've gone the way they have. It would be a mistake for MbL to steal here. He's able to do everything he wants at home, and what's that? Walling. Crazy walling as well.
Oh god, sounds like MbL indeed, and yeah, he has to be happy with that. Defensive gold as well, will have reasonable woodlines as well, and that's a map that he can absolutely live with.
We already know that Indians are going to struggle as a whole. Uh-oh. dogao's going to try this. No, dogao, you can't take that. You can't take that elephant. That 400 food is not yours. This is a neutral elephant. It's not dogao's elephant.
Yeah. At this point, it looks more likely that MbL will take it than dogao.
I think dogao would have to get loom. He'd have to fight with the Vil and the Scout, and even then, that's a plus for MbL because it's been delayed and villagers would be idle there.
Yeah, he's sending the Scout back now, but that just means dogao will have 0% map intel. Like, he will have no idea where MbL is. He will have no idea what MbL is going for. And honestly, this again, not a mistake by dogao, but heavily punished by RNG.
Yeah, this is true. MbL made a beeline right for dogao's base, so is very fortunate to be there. But dogao takes in the elephant. MbL wasn't paying attention because of something going on at home. I'm sure you heard it, Nilly. The barracks, and this will be militia. And it's almost full walls already for MbL. And this will be another fast castle game for the Norwegian.
And he has to be happy with that. Doesn't need to build the forward siege workshop this time. More likely that he will go with just double archery range at home. Maybe if he wants to go wild, he goes for eagles. Actually, like, just an mass eagle is really, really nice against Indians as well, because they can't go for knights.
Yeah, it would force Indians into longswords. Do you even know if Indians get supplies? We'll just get out in front of this one.
I think they do have supplies. But I think they're lacking the last defense upgrades.
I remember I played this matchup.
They have supplies, yep.
Okay. All right, well, that helps a bit. But then you're still not playing towards your strengths as Indians. Yeah, I played Indians versus Mezzo in a tournament once. And I played in very few tournaments. And it was USA Cup, and it was just a nightmare. Even with long swords, like the Mezzo civs can switch into archers. It's brutal. At least in the previous game, he had Malians with the extra pierce armor on the long swords. That was helpful there. Won't have that option here.
And, oh, look at that. Even blocks the lion there to take less damage on the militia. Lovely move. Now 3 militia out, only 2 for dogao, who actually goes for more. What is that play? That's at least 4 militia in Dark Age while being housed? Oh, God, that is so painful.
Yeah, he got housed. And just another sign that maybe MbL is just getting to him before Feudal Age. Again, how much control are players able to take before the 10th minute? It's unbelievable. And there's never been any worry from MbL's perspective at his base.
This feels so
It's
smooth
crazy.
for him. And, well, Velez is waiting here for the winner, right? And he will have 6 days and try to analyze the recorded games of the winner here and try to come up with some strategies. If it is MbL, he will have a colossal task ahead of him.
Yeah. Fast range for dogao. Very much a repeat of the previous game where he's trying his best to go man-at-arms, and he's going to have 2 militia, 2 infantry units remaining. It's not even worth getting the upgrade now. How do you pressure those walls? MbL still in the Dark Age and will lose his eagle at least.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that he isn't fighting there. Maybe try to lure the scout away, but was completely walled. Goes for another lumber camp now at the front. Feels very smooth by him at the moment. 15 on food, 6 on berries. Untypical for him.
He's got 2 farms. He's got like 2 villagers taking separate goats underneath the TC. I don't think MbL is going to have the res to go up when he arrives to feudal age. I mean, he does have the ostrich, but this could be just like the previous game where he just stays in feudal.
Well, he's going double lumber camp again, so 12 on wood. Yeah, it might just be an archer play here, and he will try to aim for a castle time more into that 18, 30, or 19-minute direction.
Yeah, we'll see. The resources, he still has time. These Mayans, the resources are going to spike up a bit. Killing that ostrich when he already has 35 food. And we have the walls as dogao arrives with the first archer. All right, so for dogao's sake, he's got to put some pressure on now. And then when MbL shows threat of a counter, get some walls down, which is something he struggled with in the previous game, nearly. He had the time. He just didn't do it.
Okay, let's take a look how MbL designs his base now. Where is he building his archer range? Is it just on the hill? Is he trying to build a tower there? No, archer range. Second building, second archer range. Is he going for a blacksmith, or is it just going to be skirms for now?
I guess he has the wood for the blacksmith. I'm still a bit concerned about his food count, because he's 300 food away from clicking up.
Yeah, this is going to be like skirm defense. He gave up on the FT idea.
Yeah. I think that you mentioned that Hera said to you that MbL's style could be punished. I think this type of a build would be punished by other players. In the previous game, I think it felt more natural, as you would say. But to go up to feudal so late is... Oh, is there a hole? Oh, there's not a hole. It just feels like it could be more fluid for MbL.
But how do you punish? Because he will now produce out of 2 archery ranges. And if you are Indians, like... how do you punish it?
Well, yeah. The Civ definitely has a lot to say about it. I think if it's someone like Hera, would be... He'd go happy to go 1 range, faster fletching. And then he'd have his base fully walled. And then he would just macro his way to Castle Age. And then, like, shift back to playing some defense. MbL's even stonewalling the backside.
Is that punishment?
That's true. It's not punishment, I guess. But you could punish an early Castle Age would be the idea.
Well, MbL is still fully walled then.
Yeah, then there's palisade walls. There's rangeable resources, or actually... Yeah, the wood lines are rangeable. I see your point, Nilly.
It is tricky. Like, MbL, it feels greedy and safe at the same time.
Yeah.
And yeah, but you mentioned it. Hera would be walled at this time. Dogao is still open, and he will have to pay the price for it.
This is something I brought up so many times with certain players. Dogao does it a lot. He chooses to go for the houses instead of the palisade walls. Like, he's placing another house next to the blacksmith. Why not just get the palisade walls down to be secure? Why make trouble for yourself, especially in a situation where you're at a civ disadvantage?
Well, he felt like maybe skirms are enough there to get the walls, or basically defend quite easily, but Eagle's now becoming terribly efficient. Archer's trying to loop around, finding another angle, while dogao is sending his whole army back as well.
This is just a repeat of the previous game. Like an 8-tile gap, dogao could have defended with his military, and now he's put himself in a rough position. Like, I don't know, maybe MbL doesn't seem threatening when he walls like this, so you get comfortable. But say goodbye to your woodline, dogao.
Well, MbL doesn't look threatening, but you're down 2-0, and he looked like this 2 games before as well.
I know. Yeah, I said it in some games with dogao before. I've seen dogao at his peak. I think it's a mix of MbL being a god, but also maybe dogao not quite being as fresh as he would want, and that's so many fills down.
Oh god.
Like look at the resources for dogao. Again, if there were walls, he would be upping to Castle Age faster with range units behind his walls, and he'd be fine. And then he could go for faster crossbow. And players will be doing that in later stages of this tournament. But dogao is just so stubborn with those walls. Pretty crazy.
It's funny that we're in the quarterfinals playing down from 64 to now only 8 players remaining and thinking that there's still improvement on the players to come. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm excited to see how other players are trying to punish him there. And we might, honestly, with how good MbL is playing, we might see him being punished for the very first time in the finals.
MbL, Doubt, jeez. I'll get it right the third time. I remember Dave said MbL in the finals this year. I can see it. But I also remember Dave and I said that to each other in multiple tournaments in the past. So it's not as bold a claim as it might sound.
Yeah.
Thoughts on MbL's macro? Because he's got a lot of military now, but he's still not close to clicking up.
Well, that's a bit surprising to me as well. Yeah, he has 6 villagers in the queue.
Yeah.
And if he cancelled all of them, he actually has 700 food, so he could go up, right? In general...
Oh, I was behind, by the way. I'm speeding up a little bit.
Okay.
My bad.
Oh, I was behind as well, so I could have spoiled it somewhat.
Well, we're missing a lot. There's a lot going on here, and MbL pushes in. There was no hole. I mean, there was a hole. There was no wall.
He did open the walls to get back home there, and...
Ah.
Lol, Tristan, what did we just do?
We just sped up to the end of the game.
Action-packed last 10 seconds.
Like, that's so... dogao, credit to him for making it here, and I know that he would show up better on a different day, and having spoken to him recently, know there's a lot going on right now, but, like, that was bad. He could have been walled before the first army arrived, and then if he's walled there, he's 10 seconds away from Castle Age, and would get upgrades, and he'd be fine. Like, that was so unbelievably bad. Both the push out before you get your upgrades, to not be walled, to let the army in. I guess that's a tough one, man. But no questions over MbL's play whatsoever. We talked about it right before this game ended. He moves on to the semifinals of King of the Desert 3, and he will be very happy to see that he's not facing up like maybe someone like Viper or Yo or Hera or Leary, who we'll see in the other quarterfinals. He's actually going to see Velez, a player who many didn't expect to get there.
Yeah, big surprise there, and MbL has to be super happy. Honestly, like 9k for second place, 17k for first place. That could be a colossal payout for him. Actually, I talked to Doubt, and he said he was more scared of Velez than of MbL. So he felt
Interesting.
Going through Velez today, then he would have felt really confident to beat MbL, but not our storyline. Our storyline will be MbL versus Velez happening next Saturday. Now we're going into the other 2 crazy quarterfinals that could have been semifinals in other tournaments.
Sure. Okay, so I'll briefly look through the statistics here, but there's not a lot to say. Yeah, I have nothing to say about that.
How long were the games? 20 minutes, 20 minutes, and in the middle was like 35 minutes?
Yeah, maybe 40. Probably the shortest quarter we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
This is shorter than some of the round of 64 and round of 32 sets. Like I remember Tato versus Barrels or whatever in round of 32 took a long time. MbL just made quick work of a quarterfinal opponent. Sick.
Okay, then let's hear from MbL.
No, I didn't, but after first game, I kind of felt like that was gonna happen, actually. I felt pretty good.
Okay. So, today was those kind of days that you are feeling, okay, it's looking as well, like you were getting confident with yourself.
Yeah, exactly, like, things went well, and my draft was really good. I think I caught him off guard banning Lithuanians, actually, so pretty happy. I got Vikings, Mongols, I had Mayans, Aztecs, like, what more can I ask, you know?
Yeah, all civilization from AOC.
Yeah, pretty much, but that doesn't matter. Like, I can play new civs too, but I just felt like I had really top civs for Arabia here, so super.
No, it's not like if you cannot play others. It's like it's just a coincidence that it was those civilizations and it worked really really great.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the semifinals are going to be versus Villas. Did you watch something with the previous series?
Yeah, I watched the Villas play, and I'm impressed by his performance. He doesn't usually do that well, but we'll see how it goes.
Did you expect that he come back after the 2-0? Like he
No.
did, because it was crazy that those last 3 games he played as well.
Yeah, I mean, I I did not expect it for sure. I mean, being under 3-0 or 2-0 in a best of 5 is so rough, and winning 3 in a row against Stout, who is well prepared, is crazy.
Yeah. Okay. The last question about how were you feeling during the games? Did you feel like any nervous, or do you feel now good because you said okay, top 4 will be the goal for the tournament, and you got it there? How is your feeling during the games today?
Well, for me it was important. I had a nap, I had some food and drink. I was actually felt pretty good, but when I started, my hands were really cold. I turned on the heater in my room. Now it's super hot in here. Uh, but overall, I think like I felt very nervous. Obviously, I was a bit nervous first game. Second game, I was nervous too. Third game, I was more calm. But yeah, I was definitely nervous. And when he started pushing me back in game 2, that's when I felt like kind of shit. Maybe he's gonna win this game, and then he could win next. So I started thinking, and it got pretty dicey. He did a very good pushback in game 2 for sure. Did not expect that. I knew the long swords were coming, but it was
Yeah. Was
really
crazy
tough.
game. Was crazy game. Yeah, but your answer was perfect. Okay, there is a lot of people in the stream and in the chat that are cheering for you. What do you want to say to your fans? Because there's a lot of fans now watching you from your channel, from everywhere, that you are gonna be in the semifinal. Anything you want to say to them, Mr. MbL?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try to say something nice without insulting my chat. Thanks for cheering for me, guys, and
Don't.
I hope to see you guys on the stream one day.
No, but for the
Um,
semifinals, what they can expect from you with versus Villas? Come on, they want to see you to hype them.
I'm gonna
The-
play my best against Celeste.
Okay, don't worry, man. Thanks God that you didn't say what you said yesterday. But I want to tell you, I was cheating for dogao because I wanted to co-cast with you. But man, what can we do, right? It's not gonna happen. Congratulations, and
Thanks, man.
I'm happy for you.
I'm happy too, and
Okay,
good luck. See
good
ya.
luck. Bye, bye, my man.